The man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking
That's
about.
what I said. So
that's-
when they bullied her,
Yeah.
now, if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something.
Party.
You have to be
They can't
smart.
sit
If
down.
you see where they are dressing them up and dragging on both sides, you cannot you cannot breathe.
Oh,
And
wow.
these women will stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels, and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves.
ITV, certainly the best.
The man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking
That's
about.
what I said.
So
So
that's-
when they bullied her,
Yeah.
now, if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something.
Party.
You have to be
They can't
smart.
sit
If
down.
you see where they are dressing them up and dragging on both sides, you cannot you cannot breathe.
Oh, wow.
And these women will stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels, and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves.
Certainly the best.
Radio. It is a beautiful Friday, and we say welcome to Itches and Voices. And in case you're joining us for the first time, Itches and Voices is brought to you by NAVID, Network for the Advancement of Persons with Visible Disability. And today we'll be continuing on our series, Love, Relationship and Disability. It's been an amazing series so far, and we've had 3 guests. Mr. Igwe making it our 3rd now, and we've been discussing on love, moving aside from our usual Edo State disability law, rights, advocacy, and inclusion. And of course, we have our amazing sign language interpreter that will be doing justice to our hearing impaired audience, and Miss Cynthia Godwin Aya. And we also have an amazing guest with us in the studio today, Mr. Igwe Friday. Welcome, Mr. Igwe Friday.
Thank you so much.
It's nice having you here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
And also, I think it would be nice for us to dive right into the topic for today, which is love, relationship, and disabilities. And before we go on, sir, please can you tell us a bit about yourself so our viewers can know you a little better?
Okay. My name is Igwe Friday, like you already introduced.
Okay.
And I am a lawyer by the grace of God.
Wow.
And I'm a member of NAVID.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And I got to find out that you recently got married. How is the wedding life going for you?
Well, we just entered the club, so we are still trying to study the wedding club.
Okay, that's amazing. And for our topic today, which is love and relationships, now what does love and relationship in general mean to you personally? Because it's a topic that I feel like everybody loves to talk about, everybody loves to engage in. So what does that mean for you personally, if you can explain to us?
Okay, all right. I like the fact that you said you use the words, what it means to me personally.
Yes.
Because to me, love has no universally accepted definition. So it depends on how you perceive it as a person.
Yes.
And how you perceive it depends on your experience. And I believe that it has nothing to do with disability.
Very true.
It has nothing to do with disability. So your relationship with people will determine whether you are going to enjoy that that beautiful word called love.
Yes.
So to me, I think love is a gift from God. You understand, that given to mankind, irrespective of your status in the society. So it now depends on how you handle it. So to me, love, and no matter how you look at it, and no matter who you are, love has, has very key component. To me, it has what I call intimacy.
Yes.
It also has what you call passion and commitment. So no matter what you are, if you have experienced love, you must have those three components in place.
Okay, thank you very much. You made mention of something, that love is the same regardless of disability or not, without having disability. So I want to ask a question. So we had a guest last week and she made mention of disability and love for those, for people living with disability. It's not the same for everybody. It is a little bit difficult for some to find love, and it is easy for others to find love. And she mentioned, like, the deaf community, that some of them get married earlier compared to other clusters in the disability community. So what do you have to say regarding that? Do you believe that it is difficult to find love in the disability community, or you think it's a personal thing? Okay,
like I already established that love to me is what you think it is. You understand? And your experience will not determine what you see love as. So, but I do not think, like I said, I do not think that it has anything to do with disability. But that does not mean that the guess you had has no no point. But the truth remains that it has nothing to do with disability, because, like I earlier stated, it has three components, which is passion, intimacy, and commitment. As long as you have blood flowing through your veins, you understand? So if you can experience those three things, it means you have love. And the thing is that it depends on how you, like, if you can show care, you understand? If you can show care to the next person, the person that you are actually in relationship with, of course, and that person can return that same care. Of course, yes, like, you're already experiencing love, so it has nothing to do with, so it depends on how you manage it as a person. So how you manage it will now, I mean, whether you are going to find it very difficult to have love, and whether you are going to enjoy such love. So it has nothing to do with your personality, it has nothing to do with your status, and it has nothing to do with your disability. So that is what I feel.
Okay, so will you say then that those that find it, those in the disability community that find it difficult to find love, will you say it's based on their person and their belief?
Yes, it has to do with their person and how they relate with the next person, because it involves mutual trust and care. So you cannot, because you have one form of disability or not, does not take away the fact that you have to show the other person care. You understand? So it has nothing to do. So if you have the ability to trust and show and return that care which the other person has given to you, of course I see no reason why such person cannot return same care. So it has nothing to do with disability. It just depends on how you manage that relationship with that person. So I think it has nothing to do with disability. That's my opinion. And
I think I've picked a few things from what you've said now. You made mention of passion, you made mention of trust, and you also made mention of commitment. And I think
intimacy,
and intimacy, So I think one thing I've gotten from that is that if I am, or someone, a person living with disability should first of all trust the person that he wants to get into a romantic relationship with yet, and then therefore disability will no longer become a barrier.
Yeah. Okay, now let's see, you know, you cannot fall in love with somebody that you have not interacted with or seen.
True.
Right?
Very true.
So if you are talking with somebody, for instance, and let me say this before I continue, I think some of those persons that has this impression actually, I would say it is a societal thing. Yes, because if you have not come close to me, you understand? If you have not come too close to me, because people will see you from a distance and conclude that this person will not be able to love. So if you don't come to me, and there's no way I can extend that care, intimacy and commitment to you, if you don't know me, I don't even understand.
Yes,
so,
I do.
And that's why I say it depends on how you manage it, because you can only manage somebody who is close to you. So if you fail to manage it, that's the way you will begin to say, okay, maybe it was difficult for you to get love. Because if you are interacting with somebody that you have not met, at that point the person will not be able to detect whether you have one disability or not until you are able to. So it is a society. Okay, it is a societal something. Do you understand? Because if I can be communicating with you for 5 years without letting you know if I have one disability or not. There is no way, as long as I will be able to express that love to you. So yes, so that's what matters.
That makes sense. And the society, I feel like society brings a stereotype sometimes. Exactly. Because you've not met someone with disability and you just feel like they feel sorry and they cannot find love. And love is for everybody. For everybody. Everybody wants to.
That's why I started by saying that it is a gift from God. And when God gives that gift to mankind, God did not say, okay, this one will go to a person with disability and this one will go to persons without disability. So love is a gift to mankind, so you can enjoy it depending on how you view it.
Okay, let's dive a little more personal to you. Okay. So you're married, sir.
Yes.
Your wife, is she with or without disability?
Is without any form of disability.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. So sir, before you got married, in your dating phase, did you date a person living with disability before you got married?
I never dated
a person. Wow. You see, I feel like society sometimes make it seem like persons with disability should either be married or date a person with disability and not come close to people without disability.
And that's okay. Sorry.
And it's no, sir, and it's very nice for us to see now that it should not be like that. And you said you've never dated, you did not date any person with disability before getting married. Wow. So sir, talking about a little bit to your wife now. When you guys were getting married, did like family come as a barrier within that period?
Okay, like I said, if you don't go close to someone, you will not be able to know whether this person has the ability to express love or not. And love is not just about mere words, I love you. It involves those three things that I mentioned earlier. If you can show that commitment to a woman, the woman will forget automatically that they have one form of disability or not. All right? So when we started, to answer your question, when we started, she saw me somewhere and she was the one that approached me.
Wow.
And when we started, she went home to inform her parents that this is the kind of person she was about getting married. Yes. So such, you know, like, so it was like, are you sure you are going to cope? I didn't say a word. I didn't even go with her. Wow. So she now told the dad that, Father, I've seen this person. I think you see what I'm saying, like I have to go close to the person. That I've seen this person and I know what I am going here. I know this person and this is exactly who I want. Wow. So I didn't say anything up till now. So at a point she came to me and began to tell me that some of her friends have been telling her that how are you going to cope with somebody with disability? And at a point she got angry. And then I told her, I said, you don't need to get angry. That's because if you have not seen me and somebody approach you that, please, I want you to get married to this person, you'll be very angry. So you have come close to me and you saw something. You understand? So you don't need to blame others because they don't know me, they don't come close to me, and they don't know what they have. So that's what that was it.
We have to cut it short a little bit because so far the conversation has been going amazingly well in the studio, but we have to go on a real quick short break, and when we get back, we'll continue the conversation with Mr. Igwe. Thank you. Welcome back from that very quick break. The break we talked about NAVID hosting palliative for persons with disability this December, because everybody has to celebrate this December, and as NAVID we'll be sharing palliative for members of NAVID and persons living with disability, and you can also support and be a huge part of this movement. So welcome back, Mr. Igwe.
Thank you
so
so
we were
much.
talking earlier about family and
Yes.
how you made mention of how your wife was the first person to introduce you to our family,
Yes.
because she saw exactly what she wanted.
Yes.
So can you tell us more about the family acceptance and all about that?
Okay, like I stated earlier, when she went to inform her parents,
Yeah.
I didn't go with her. So it was when she came back and she started telling me the reservation that the family members had. So the following day, she had she was invited to come home over the same matter. So she now told everybody that I have seen this person, I've lived with this person. All right. In fact, this person does almost everything at home. So this is exactly the kind of
Who she
person.
wants.
Yes, it's not because I have money. I don't have money. You understand? So she saw something.
Yes,
And she,
exactly what she
yes,
wanted.
she saw something and she knew what she wanted, and that's what is important in every relationship.
Yes, you mentioned that she made mention of seeing you could do things. So I want to talk about domestically at
Okay,
home.
okay.
What is it like? Because I know a lot of persons are
Yes.
usually very curious
Yes.
on how getting married to a person living with disability or living with a person with disability, what's like the day-to-day activity or struggle? Is there like a struggle?
Yeah.
Or just tell us about the domestic life and what it's like.
Okay. Like I stated earlier, for you to enjoy love or relationship,
Yes.
you have to, as in, to show some level of commitment, irrespective of whether you have disabilities or not. Something must keep you. Like you may use prayer to get into a home or to get a job or to get married,
Yes.
but other things will have to keep you in that relationship, right?
Yes, very
now, I'll say this. I don't know if my wife is watching. Do you understand?
We hope she is.
Yeah. So, but I will tell you that we got married on the 6th of September.
Wow.
But I can tell you that my wife has only cooked 4 times since we got married.
Wow. Wow.
Only
That's
4 times.
interesting.
So that's good. In fact, there is an argument in the house now whether I cook better than my
Better than
wife.
she
Yeah.
does.
So that's how I'll end it. so that
That's
it
interesting.
will not look as if my wife is not cooking for me.
No, not at all. We love the fact that this made me quite happy, because I love the fact that you're also very involved.
Yes.
And this is something that even persons without disability argue.
Yes.
You see men without disability that do not even want to cook for their wife.
Okay,
and
yes.
it's different now.
Of course. So yesterday I was at the High Court, like with a colleague, and we were discussing about family matters. So
Matters.
yeah, I told him that for like since we got married, that my wife had only cooked with her house for that. He said, He said he will never try it as long as like he's married, that he will never go to kitchen. So it is an individual thing. So how you, if you know what to work in your marriage, you just do it.
That makes sense. Whatever works for you. This is so for love. It's more of a personal thing,
that's why
not any
commitment.
disability that's come with it. And even for couples or persons without disability, they have to still be commitment, because if not, the marriage or the relationship will not work. So commitment is the main
very
and the principal
and
thing.
it was one of the things that my wife saw before he liked me, that I could do. You know, once a woman sees that she's coming to your house to add more problems, stress, she will not come.
True.
I wash my clothes myself.
Wow.
So sometimes when I see that my wife is very tired, I help her clean the bedroom everywhere.
Wow.
You understand? So it is something must you must show some level of commitment. You don't need to let her know that she's coming to carry all the stress. Yes.
And I think that's one thing a lot of people are afraid of, coming into a marriage and carrying all the burden by themselves. And I think we should divert a little bit from the home and let's talk about like in society. For instance, are you a Christian? You're a Christian.
I am a Christian.
So what was like it for members of the church? Were they open to the marriage? Were they supportive, or were there objections here and there for you in church?
I was personally. Before we got married, a pastor of the church actually like me very well. You understand? He knows my capability. So and the daughter is also a member of the church. So it was something that everybody was actually looking, happy. So you understand? Even though there might be some side talk, he's getting married to somebody there. So, but I can tell you that, in fact, that day, everybody, like the whole hall, was here. So it is something that everybody actually was happy about. Yes.
Oh, thank you. So from that, we know that nothing is don't be afraid for what church will say, what family will say. Mr. Igwe's story is a perfect example that disability is not the first thing. It is first commitment that counts.
Yeah.
We'll be going on another short break, and when we come back, we'll say more about the topic. Welcome back. We know love is giving and love is sharing. So be a part of NAVID's movement this December to share love to the persons with disabilities community. You can support us by sending funds to the account number we displayed before. You can visit us at 34 Arosa Street off Sankomba Road. Thank you. And Mr. Igwe, as we round up, what is one word or something you like to say to persons with disability that are looking for love currently?
Okay, one word I would say to them is that, one, they have to understand that love involves mutual trust and care. You must show love to the person that you are expecting love from. And secondly, you have to work on yourself. You understand? Yeah, you have to work on yourself so that you'll be able to attract exactly what you want.
Yes. Thank you so very much, Mr. Igwe Friday. It was amazing having you on the studio today, and I'm sure we had an amazing session today. And also, we say thank you to our sign language interpreter and Cynthia Godwin Aya. And also remember that this is the season of love. Make sure to share love to those around you. And remember, spot the itch and be a voice. Thank you for joining us today.
ITV, certainly the best.
Certainly the best.
Anegbete community, situated in Isako Central Local Government Area of Edo State. It is an agrarian community with united people that promotes unity and oneness for peaceful coexistence. The inhabitants of the community migrated from Benin, the cradle of black civilization, a kingdom where king is truly king. The ancestors of Anegbete saw that age was the main determinant of leadership in the rural setting, and the eldest man in the settlement was regarded as the leader who presided over meetings, and his authority is held in high esteem. To further strengthen this unique system of leadership, age group evolved in Anegbete. In Anegbete, age group is categorized into two, that is, the common and the noble. Anegbete is rich in cultural heritage, as the community at noon saw the commitment of the festival with the first set rolled out in beauty colors to showcase their might and strength, indicating their feet and ready for the responsibilities behold on them. The streets in the community with a feed up of young men and women adorned with the festival. Later, the royal family takes the stage as their children fight out royally and work in the community to showcase their might and fitness.
My leader.
Certainly the best.
Waya bota now. Ugi bota we say anyone. Mapon waya fe ni dai mageya. Uza no gbera mana gwaka ohi. Ya suwo wa ya se gbodo ame ke ya fere. Ya se gbe ki na ke we ki ke ya mayunu kan ya. Be na ya ki we na ya de. Ma ya gwaka utana ni wa. Oye. Ihe. Ihe na ihe ka so bo la wo na ja ti en ni ma won ni eyin ne ma no ri ara ke ya fe ore so na ma gwa kana ihe ma e ma wo wa e ma wo do so ba ja ti en ni ma e tell ni ga ihe ma agwa ka uta na tell me pastor tomo e do no pe wa be ne ge kai wadani ima se wabi tota wabi ediketi ofun egbo sa oba go waro oba atokpe ise ota Victor Bizugbe
owe avebun egbo won so fa magiri ebo hu do ni wala ho wa ge ve bore ihe ma egbe igban ebo ki elegbe wi oba atokpe
ise anyone me so abo se ngi nu ye o no ye ejo ba yo kai o do ya fe na be o ka bo ye do ya fe so abalogun e to ni we pe wa no daima o sa no de ba wa ya fe oba to pe ise emi ma gwa kana o ihe e ma ta ihe bo ihe ye bo ye gbo wa no ri ye bi ha si e ma hon mari unda be kana emi na ya ma de ihe ero ati yẹn náà ma ati ìyẹn àyàdọ́ ayìyẹn dọ́lẹ̀ nìyí ẹ̀dín àti yẹn yọ ẹ̀dín àti ẹ̀bọ̀ yọ ìyẹn ẹ̀ màgbọ́n kára ni wọn ọ̀tẹ́ rẹ̀ pastor.
dọ́mù ìyẹn ọ̀ àmà nà yáyé mi àmà náà yé ma wẹ ẹ̀wù ùgàdì wẹ́nẹ̀. Iye ibi lomani o amma kebi na riyemi odo no mu igo o mu yo hu ori amma yo we ke na pa o ki ari no kan we o ga fi obe yo ha iye ro ne iye ni magi mu ye duogo o so ga lo ri ye adugbe bo sunu nu do wo fi obe yo ha iye ni hi gbeze ye la dupo o fi obe de na owo e ori ono hi abugbo nda oriyo ọmụ ihe se ọma mayari eri mugbo mama no ye sokma ye to bi eri ye yeba yo etie no oriyo ya munani ofomegbe no ebe erabiri eyage bo mugbo ni oriye yari abukpon oriye yiwa oyari ekezi wega ware ugbera babode uriopia uriye lagbo ugbawe de no manya uvinya de no manya ufiwo de no manya gbodele oyun za wala wo pa iye le lo wani owo no ma tie bo otuki unu no wani aya khani ye emu vi eri o mi eji ne ebo le lo wani kiane iye le lo wani kiane bo iye oloroma ewu oyiye ugawu bukekere oyiye eni opa nro no mama use ni yelele be no mana we se ni iye ole owe ikan ipawo agbowo kan ora mi kiana wa owe are oba atokpe ise ni wa ya yi wa da ni ye ma igwa kan do so pa je kan ma ina te ihe ma na ho ma gbe wa ni na ihe eni na ma we se ihe de likia ni ta wu le ni ihe
eni àwọn lè ní he obo masu no lè ní he ma se ke mi lè ní he emi mo odu re dagbon no ma se ti ihe o se unda uwe nema abe ti yi so ba ja ti ye wo ọmọ náà dùn èmi rèé nínú ọtí àbá ìyẹn inú ọ̀nyá yà á tí yọ wẹ gèmìnà wà rùn ẹ ògùn ọ̀rí tí yọ o èso ọ̀rí tí yọ o òṣàlógbọ́ ibẹ̀ sí ọ̀tí yọ o èmi ní ọ̀rùn àmàmì. ìyẹn lélẹ̀. ẹ̀rọ náà mi wẹ ẹ̀rẹ̀ do sẹ̀rẹ̀ náà ẹ̀rẹ̀ náà dẹ una fi ní ayọ̀tọ̀ wàdẹ́sẹ̀ gbó wẹ kọ́lébé uzeka yọ umuya ẹ̀ umuyen yọ ni. ọ̀rẹ̀dẹ̀ ẹ̀rọmúyọtọ̀ ozeka ụmụyọ ụmụiwọ ni uri koki uri nyae ụmụiwọ ni ụkọlẹ̀ beso ozeka yọ mụnyae ihe ụmụyọ ni ọ̀rọ̀ náà sẹ́wà ọ̀nà mụnya ni ọ̀nà àfihàn ọ̀rẹ̀dẹ̀ ni àwà nọ́kọ̀ àrùn èrú utemeyọ dẹ́ni bíi náà tẹ́ ẹ bá ihe nọ́kọ̀ àwà nọ́kọ̀ ẹ̀yẹ nọ ìyẹ́wò sàlóbọ̀ udíyẹ̀bọ̀ udíyẹ̀wò wotɔwɔ kpɛwɔ ɛyɛ nuka wɛsɛ ɔlɛlu ɛkɛ wɛ ɛyɛ lɔkpa yɛrɛ wa wɛgɛ na yɛ na ɔrɔ ɛyɛ lɔkpa wɛ ɛyɛ wa bu ɔtɛmɛ evitɔ wa yɛ wɛ wa yɔ.
ɔwɛ ɛbɛnɛ wa gbɔn na n'ɔwɔ kakabɔ kadi gbasɛ wa aka tɛmɛ n'ɔka mi yɛ na ìmáyà nuwɛ.
Oh my God.
Ihe no kwa imaya. Ana ya
imayanuwe.
Odi wa ya do mo gogo mu imayanuwe. Imayanuwe odi wa ya o. Hu da we maya na ni. E ko ri awe yo ne. E kene ko na ri awe yo ni. Emi opa na oyin le luwe kan. E ya ri yo ne. O salopo na gi wa gbon. No ba go ya nu we tete ti ro mi ni. Ọmọ òwú yọ ni ọmọ anọdọ kí wọn bọ do èmi ni bíọ wẹ wàá gún má bẹyìn yẹn ni ọsàn bọ ayò yànnà kẹkẹ ọwọ àyà ni ẹẹdì ẹ lábàá àwẹ ìgúnmà gbé ìgúnmà ni ọkìyẹn nọkùwà nọlọwọ ọsìn ẹ yọrù ọwọ ìgúnmà ẹ má mi ní wáìn wà wẹ ẹgẹnẹ dẹ ọwọ ọwọ muhu yàn zábọ ọmuhu yàn zábọ ni ẹmẹ ẹẹdọ yà ẹka rúmù dọ ni. ọmọ akọ magẹrù èmi náà ya miẹwẹ ọmọ amúhùn yẹn zábọ ọdún ogún ọmẹgbẹ ọdún owó ọdún tẹrẹ náà bú ọmọ sọ ọgùá ìhìn àwùjọ náà fi ẹdọ dàgbẹ àwò ọyẹbọkìn àwò ọviẹ amẹvẹlẹ àwò rẹ ìyá ni yàrá wẹ yàá egbe oya ni eyo ni eve ni evie ni owa no kan afie ogbonobolo ofi owe no ri yen ni ekeke gbe yo we do fi yen na we o ma no kan ri oya ri yo wo keke o ja iri oba ni ihe igba no kwa no elegbewi o ma ko ma ge gege gbe yo we ida we ro pa de emi wa de eyi na ta we ebo egbo ma yo mi ogun e ọ̀gá ahùn fàkàbàkà á ní ọ̀tẹ́mù ní ẹ̀bọ̀ ìwé yìí ńdẹ́wùwé àlọ́ nàfi ọ̀ṣẹ́kùn.
ẹ̀bọ̀dẹ̀nẹ̀ àdúzà.
ẹ̀bọ̀dẹ̀nẹ̀ àdúzà ẹ̀gẹ́ náà àwọn olù àtàwẹ̀ yìí kìnnákè máa gbọ̀n bẹ́ẹ̀rẹ̀ ẹ̀ẹ́ni ẹ̀yà máa ní wẹ̀ náà ẹ̀yà mi ẹ̀ lọ́yà máa ní ẹ̀bọ̀ nà ẹ̀yìn ni dúdọ̀ ni ọmọ amákẹ́kẹ́ náà yà á lò èmi náà má dé yú yẹn náà yà á ní èmi ẹ̀ rẹ̀ èmi ẹ̀ wù á ní ẹ̀ ìyẹ̀kẹ́ ẹ̀ máa
ọtẹrẹ iṣẹ ọtẹrẹ pásítọ̀ ìyẹn inú àyàtàwọ yìí. wẹ́ẹ̀rẹ̀ màrá àwọn adé rẹ̀ ni ìyẹn ọ̀lẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ sótà bẹ́ẹ̀ náà máa sẹ́rì yẹn ugbẹ́sọ máa sẹ́rì yẹn ugbẹ́sọ ọ̀rọ̀ àkè eré àpàlọ́ ọ̀lọ́ àmọ́ náà bí ẹ̀ nígbà yìí kí àwọn ìlànà gbóná ẹ̀fọ́ òtọ́jẹ́ ọ̀lẹ́ orí rẹ̀ lọ́kù sánà pa. Ọ̀gá akẹ́bẹ̀ náà gẹ́gẹ́gẹ́gẹ́ ọjọ́ pàwọ́dọ̀ òṣìṣẹ́ ọjọ́ tún gbẹ́sẹ̀ sí ganubẹ́ sí mú fún àwọn kíwà ọ̀kẹ́ pa ọgẹ́rẹ́ fò èrè ẹni yẹ̀kí èso yìí ìhùn dí ìyẹn náà láìpẹ́ ọwọ́ àgbẹ̀ òjòjì ọ̀gá wa ara kí ọ̀gẹ̀tẹ̀tẹ̀tẹ̀ irúgbàrà ọ̀rẹ́ àgbọ̀nsẹ̀ yẹn lábẹ́ ra èyí àgbẹ̀ yìí ọmọ náà bí ẹ̀rẹ̀ ra ọ̀nìbẹ̀gùn yìí nọ́pa ìrẹ̀ ra ǹda ìyẹn náà tiẹ̀ mẹ́ ọ̀rọ̀ náà náà wà dùn ẹ̀ ọ̀kọ́kọ́ náà mú náà ní wàásù àpòpọ̀ náà kò mú ẹ̀ pọ̀ náà ni ó jẹ́ yọ̀kẹ́ ara rẹ̀ dàgbọ́ yẹn. lọ́dún ọ̀rọ̀ jẹ́ gbélé wú gbé. ó jẹ́ yọ̀kẹ́ ara rẹ̀ dàgbọ́ yẹn. báwo lè yọ̀kẹ́ ara rẹ̀ dàgbọ́ yẹn ọtí yẹn nẹ.
e na soro ne tiri anu baba e bo ovieve ni mo gbe ko ovieve ni la meve na la o la bien wuda mama ni ete mama wupo na wa gba ya wa ko na ye wa ya de bo wupo we ya do e mu we tu bo aka bo bi aso o ma ni ya wa ye ko e wo pa no ge e no wo yo sa ona ya tie no wa ni we wa aka o ma ni gwa na fo de ori ono de de ni we ya mo na wa ko bo ma ni ado de ye dagbo egbebere gbe oko to re padà gbon ọmọ ni ede ya gbon be ya gbon lọ́wọ́ ọmọ na mi ewe ma wa de na be ri ma ni ado seri o ọmọ na de na de anosu owe na de arusi owo yi ora owe de na tiye ne abaya do fi ame yi no ya seri o no da we ebo iye no ma ni tiye ne olomi ya ni ya enia e ma no gbo ma yari aziro iye lele age abo ti ba fi moto abo wa nego iye ale le iye ro epo igo ne de no ri la de e mo ti yari ba ohun le ma koko igbe kere ro ga so e o oki ologo ba yo egbe abo na mara so kito na wa pressure ba ni oguji wi iye mata igbe te su me o de ma re no si bara ni o lo ba so e amada so e o oki ologo ba yo egbe ori iye no ugbe se so abi e be di ba ori e so to eni ga ebo gasun eni ga ha ilabia iye lele ga ori ologbo yo o le lori ori eri eni yeki eduno pe wa la o wa de we ni ye o ma su baba na o su ba ko yebu ede oba to pe yebu ede iye ro wa ni o se yo babo ma iro tele ihe ma gwa kana ihe na muye wi na muye ugbo na muye ogoro ti ma pa gbobere wi o ke gbobere we yemu yetome inataye orede awora yi awu to orede ino otomi otayo eri gbega ye ya gagia ya goge ya ona we yeri tome yo yeri we ya fe ewo na we ida yen ewo bewe wa wi go ere da o ti sa le ligbo dipo obi edigbo me wa we kin emi na ge yewe do yo emi na re de aya ti ebo do aya ti ebo ye ugbo ode ogo esoro nana lewo holu esoro to bo wa egbe mi kata si ariko kinya enyuko de eri ude enyuko we ewo ho ya egogun owa na ze bebe no gbere owo la gbe ewe ke odegbe ewe ohoho awe yewa wovia ovia ma evi no via ki we bo otere wa te amo via yemi ovia na ewine wo no re wo na ya mo epo ri oyi unda me e kiri we ke di experience one
mami adunabuwa owe na ma egbede ama evi na vahe ama evi na bi raye mami bo na tana orun opa won via wo boy orun opa won kwa wo boy okwa oge wo no o via oge wo no do wa do ge no gebo ya mo gun wo bian ya mo lokun wo bian ya me sango wo bian ya me da wa debo kwe no ri do wa do we mami da una yugbo una vunya na ses kokoyoto una zekeboto una zeyebe una munya oba pa do no we uweti nu aya ti we gbe meri o emi nu ye me ni ka we o wa no ri do mi na rie to mo o
kike
o to na kan aye to ana nu mi e o mo kenya we e kan ni na zeya we we be ni no munya ho eni de ya na mi we una zinga ze you work go na sa me na de mu ro yo we te bo pa yan yi to ga ya me na enwo no ga hu ne ge fu una mi we uya di ma to no kun se wo gun no uvio yan we we ikun se o wa na kan ga ye e we ta ma eni o wa no ri o bo gbe na no ya we emi ni ga sunu dai emi o ma ituti so pa de ya na mi we ewu no kwa na we ya na ko wo via ra na wo kwa he una ne ya re una ya ri ta me we e no sunu Guadogun eti ebo yo, ebuna do mo yo. Omo pa me da chopa owe. So ma una le ga usoma no kwa no duwa we bo ni. O ke ke no ye be ho wo. O ma pa me ti owo boy no ya do meye eri no mu yoto. O gbe o ehuwe o ike mi o no mu yoto o me ti o do me o de yo no ya mu ha yo we no ma ga sikino ye. O ni ma se na gbo ma we ba. Bí wọ́n máa láwìn ní àwọ̀ ọba náà wọ́ ni una mú ẹbọ yé mi wọ́n ààrẹ tí ẹ̀ẹ́dọ̀ báyìí mú da wọ́ ẹ̀nu ọ̀yà sí mi wọ́n ẹ̀ẹ́nà mú mẹ́ yá yí dà ọmọ ọ̀rí yá yí sọ̀tí mú ẹ̀bá bò bá ọwọ́ sàdé dá sàdó mọ́ ẹ̀ẹ́nà wọ́n yẹ tí mi yá wẹ́ ìmọ̀ àwọn ní adómú mẹ́mí ẹ̀mẹ́rì bàbá ìmọ̀ yá níyà o.
àfihàn bábò rẹ̀ tó ti.
ọmọ ìbílẹ̀
àfihàn bábò rẹ̀ tó ti.
ọmọ ẹ̀fásì lóyà tó kọ́ ẹ̀bìnrin ohun ààyè ọ̀ta ọ̀tì ẹ̀ ọ̀gùn ààyè ọ̀sàlùpà pásọ̀ ẹ̀ẹ́dọ̀ tí ìwẹ̀wẹ̀ wágùn yà á mú ìbábìrì náà lè wù yọ nígbà tẹ́lẹ̀ kìlọ̀.
ọba ẹtẹ rẹ àlùwà wẹlẹ gbẹmẹ yàwó dà ọdà etí máa nìyẹn lù yẹ wà fẹ kó wà láwò wà ẹkù lè gbé kó a nùdà ibi lọgbẹrẹ náà ọkẹ ìwà yẹrẹ nùdà ọyẹ èmi náà nìyẹn mọfìà nìyẹn akẹ nìyẹn rẹwù ọyẹ nà rẹ wà rẹwò òun ẹtí zẹmìnà tẹlẹtà ẹbá òrì ẹ ẹyọ wà kẹ òrì ẹyọ ẹyọ wà fìà mẹtí rẹ yọ ekele wẹ ìdò káwé àdómọ ẹwọ òdòmọ fìà yìí nẹ ẹgbẹ náà wà ẹyin alábàá ni alábàá náà wọ́n àmú gbóyè rẹ̀ tẹ́ wọ́n ìdó káwé dùn àdómọ ẹ̀hìn ẹ̀wọ́ náà àmú ẹ̀yọ nẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ wọn náà ìyàn ẹ̀wù yìí ọ̀gá ẹ̀wù yìí ọ̀tún mẹ́ ọ̀tayọ zẹ́ ẹ̀wọ́ bí ẹ̀wọ̀ àwọn ọmọ rẹ̀ wọ̀ wọ́n ní ìmáṣẹ́ náà gbẹ̀wọ̀n àmì náà bá ní wọn ọ̀dà ìmọ̀ ní dàrímà ìmọ̀ àwọn ìmọ̀ àwẹ̀ ìta ní ìwé hàn ọ̀tẹ́ mi pásítọ̀.
dọ́mọ̀ sọ èmi máa gbọ́n kan náà kan ní ìyẹn náà makaka ra toyi na ìyẹn náà gà rẹ̀ bìnnà wọn dá wà ra
o tó abẹ́rẹ́ gẹ̀ yẹn pọ̀
ẹ̀ẹ́mẹ̀yìn máa rọ ọ́nì òkèké ìnà kéèké ni ọ̀yẹn ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀ kpara rọ náà miẹ́gẹ́ òpópá náà ti ẹ̀ké ọ̀kẹ́ ìgbọ̀tún wọn ọ̀gbọ̀tún wọn sọ àwọn náà tì yẹn nẹ wékè èmi nínú náà ìyẹn lè lọ ẹ̀kẹ́ ìwé gbéra ẹ̀ èrèrè ẹ̀kẹ́ akẹ́yà wà àpòrò ẹ̀ẹ́dì ìjẹ́ ọ̀yẹ́ náà bàbá ìyẹn náà lùbẹ́ tí ènìyàn náà tó àgbè ìyẹn akẹ́yẹ ẹ̀kẹ́ tí ìyẹn yà ọ̀rẹ́ òdo ọwọ́ kọ́ ọ̀nà ìmì ọgbìn ọlọ́wọ́ o ìyá lórí amáwèrè báyìí ọ̀nà ìrèrè gbèké ọ̀rẹ́ ìyẹn ṣùgbọ́n òun èmi dáàlù rẹ̀ kí náà nìyà òun ègbé kí á wà ó kí á kẹ́ ìrànà ríyà ẹ̀rọ ìgbéra ìnà rókè ìyẹn nà núùdé nínú ọ̀hún núùdí kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ núùdé ẹ̀kọ́ ọjànàrà àmì náà yà gbọ̀ tí wọn. ẹ̀rọ ní búrọ̀ ọ̀nà lọ́rọ̀ wà lọ́rọ̀ yìí máa ń yún nù tẹ́ ènìyàn fi ó bọ́ yìí ènìyàn fi ó bọ́ yìí ni ìyẹn rà lé lẹ́kíá. ẹ̀rọ ní búrọ̀ ọgbẹ́sọ̀ ọ̀rẹ́ sọ̀sẹ̀ yà tó tàbí náà mi ẹ̀rọ máa wé mi lọ pa èpá sọ̀rọ̀ alẹ́ rù mẹ́ èmi ní ẹ̀wọ̀ ìyẹn mú ẹ̀dẹ́ mẹ́ ìyẹn rà ẹ̀yẹ tọ̀ ọ̀bẹ̀ ọ̀rẹ́dọ̀wọ̀ bo ọ̀rẹ́dọ̀ ẹ̀yẹ ìpàwọ̀ tẹ́gbẹ̀rẹ̀ ọ̀rẹ́ tọ̀ ọ̀yà ákú ẹ̀ ọ̀bẹ̀ ẹ̀ o èmi tó bọ̀ ọmọ yìí kánẹ́ èmi ọ̀párẹ̀ ọ̀nọ̀rọ̀ ayé tọ̀ ọ̀nà ni omi ewé mi là lọ́rẹ̀ rẹ̀ so ukànẹ́ ni ọ̀bí yóò kékẹ́ ẹ̀ ìyẹ̀wé ni ya fẹ́ mẹ́ nọ̀gá wu lèlè dọ́gbó na ayéra kọ̀ ya yiri kọ̀ ẹ̀ yẹ bẹ́ yàrá ló tọ̀ akọ̀ ẹ̀ ọ̀ma yẹ ọ̀nù dá ìyẹn ni ọ̀lẹ́jà ni èmi ọ̀fíọ́ bọ̀ yìí ni ọ̀sọ̀ ẹ̀ orí ẹ̀ nàdẹ̀ ọ̀ma ni ẹgbẹ́ tí a pẹ̀ yẹn ìyẹn nù eteni kpɛkɛ eteni ho wariwo bɔyɛ ni yere nunda iye yere na ogue iye la de wɛyi wɛtɔ ogue nkuro dɛ oyakɔ ɛkɔ wɔn na iye la seke n'ogue ye ɔmudia wɛwɛ hɛn ife bɔnɛ ɔbɔni yanni emi ebo ebe mi n'ɔkpa yi sunu iye imudia n'ogue kɛkɛ ɔtɛ ogue ni ɛti gbukpe va ɔgbukpe ha ɔgbukpe nɛ. ẹ̀dẹ̀nu máa yẹ ẹ̀dẹ̀nu máa kọ́ ikẹ́kẹ́kẹ́ kan ọ̀rẹ́ adékun ọba níbo dẹ ọyẹ pìrì yìí wa wọ́n ẹ̀dẹ̀ bá gbé kẹ́kẹ́ ẹ̀bá yẹn ní sèkìrì ọba níyì wẹ̀sẹ̀ ní ìyẹn à ẹ̀kúdó orí ẹ̀ní ẹ̀rẹ́ bá wẹ̀ o umarere o uyoji o ugbomayari aziro o omo ma gbe nu meke ni go ni meke na gan e pa so ki o ugbowa le so si meke na kin no wa o eni ye no egerede o gbera keke iyen ni ga sekruye oba atope anyway ya wadaye ni matasi na ya nwa ma ye unda be ma igi biore be ma igi ma no isunu na ihe ni bu wa re bo ihe no ikata se na ebode na duza be na ta ibania be ni maginu we do mana odun we o ri okagele ladia ai yo kagele odun we aya ju la me gwa aya vora aya vodi wa wo nu ri ayo iya ri na ka yin ai ọdún wo èsì ọmọ àná ẹsẹ̀ tí ń pa ẹsẹ̀ tí ń yí wá wọn náà kàwé lè ẹ̀wọ́n rí o àrò ọ̀rẹ́ ẹ̀wòyá fẹ́rẹ́ wọ́n rẹ̀ kìlọ̀ tó lá inú náà èsì yẹn wọ́n rẹ̀ àkíyàn ní òrìwó èmi náà kí ẹ̀ náírà ìgbé owó kí ẹ̀ náírà gbé àríyé owó náírà ẹ̀há òkè òye owó ìgbé gbọ̀dọ̀ wòye àdókè gẹ̀wò wẹ̀ rí ọ̀nà kẹ̀ wọ́n yé ẹ ẹbọdé ẹbọ ló fẹ́ lẹ́gbà ọ̀rẹ́wà ìkànnìgà ọjọ́ ìwé tó bọ́ wẹ́wẹ́ yẹn wẹ́ ẹwọ ìgbà orí èyí wọ́n wẹ́sùn wẹ̀ gbé náwó rí èrè náà kẹ́kẹ́ náà rí èrè mẹ́wò ẹ̀yìn ìwọ́ pàwọ́ rí sí ẹyẹ pò ó rẹ̀ tiẹ̀ wò àwòyà níyẹn ehun ń wà rọrùn ń dẹ́kẹ́ ni wẹ́rí yé ọ̀rẹ́ ìsìkẹ̀wẹ́ ẹsẹ̀ ìmákàmì wò ọ̀tẹ̀ àwọn máa yó ó ní ọ̀pá náà lẹ́yìn ìwò wa ẹ̀rọ wọ́n rí kí wọ́n má sẹ̀ wọ́dún wòye wọ́n rí kí wọ́n má sẹ̀ wẹ̀ wò ní ọkàgẹlẹ ìwẹ tó bí wẹ egele wẹ kí ìwẹ arú èyẹsì náírà mi wẹ ẹmọ tó wú dẹ o egedege owó bọlọ o lórí rẹ èpẹ wẹkẹrẹ pa ẹmọ yèrè rẹ ẹrù àríyé máa rọ ọ lọdún eyín rẹ ìran àvíọ lórí eyín viọ ọyá begedege rẹ wo náà ọyá wo yàfẹ màmí ẹyà èmi ni yàfẹ ibi yàrá rí àṣẹ níyà wòye bẹ̀rẹ̀ náírà àtàyà yìí máwé náírà begedege máwé náírà wọ saba no gi wa ame no ya bo ami nyesi ya bo wa emo ya wi ye wuku emo ni yi wo ya wi to wo ya wi pe wo ni wa magwalo o se manata na emi ni hehi no wa ya bu yi wa de we to bu we no be politics we no danger ni ewo we no danger no otu we ewo ya fe una awe ebode na do wa mani wa osaro bo la wo wa gwalu de edono pewo na go ba dole wo na yi ni mi mani ma ya fe ogibo ta we de na na e ma na mo yoto wa ya be wa ru wa bi dayo oba atope ise
Certainly the best.
TV, certainly the best.
This is Aqua Game, a popular game in Africa played by our ancestors to entertain themselves after each day of farming. It is also relevant in our coronation in Africa. It is a sport and indeed very interesting, as every seed had a role in the game. Playtime is 45 minutes per set. There is no age limit as long as you can spin aqua seed. Ayo or aqua game, known as the game of intellectual. This game requires a lot of mathematical skills. Aqua game is played with carved wooden box containing 12 holes.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain, which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
Certainly the best.
Hello and welcome to Women in Conversation on ITV. You're live from our Lagos Network studio. I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels, and today I have seated with me some beautiful women that will be looking at domestic violence. But before we go into the program properly, I'm going to be introducing my guests who are seated here looking very pretty. Of course, I have on my right Princess Edith Madejomo. She is an entrepreneur and the CEO of Freedit Global Limited. Edith, you're welcome.
Thanks for having me.
And then on the far right, I have Abiodun, who is a registered welfare worker in the UK, and she's a women's speaker. Abiodun, you're welcome.
Welcome.
And then to the left, of course, I have Barrister Chisom Agbafo. Chisom is a legal practitioner. You're welcome, Chisom.
Thank you very much.
Okay, ladies, we're going to be looking at domestic violence. And before we go into looking at domestic violence, I have a write-up that I read from a writer. So I'm going to read through this write-up before we go into the program properly. So a writer once said that women who do well in marriages always have some traits and mindsets. Let's take a look at some of these mindsets. Okay. So the writer said, some of these mindsets could be they have their own life, their joy doesn't depend on their husbands. Their mood does not depend on their husbands. The women makes a healthy marriage if you don't have mood and you're not looking to your husband. Okay. And the writer also said, they believe that they don't chase validation. They carry peace, knowing that peace draws their men back home. He also went on to say they know when to talk and when to keep quiet, saying not every reaction deserves reply. So with all the domestic violence we have seen, starting from the gospel singer Osinachi and down to the recent one in Calabar, the one that allegedly the wife poured her husband or set her husband ablaze because of an argument. And funny enough, this marriage was just for 6 months, And so we're going on also to Haruna, who was recently pardoned by the president after allegedly, anyway, she has been sentenced to death because it's not allegedly anymore. She was sentenced to death and she served that jail term for 6 months. But she was among the people that the president recently gave pardon, and she's out of the prison. So let's go down to the problem right now. We are women, and we know the problem. I think it's the domestic violence. That is a major problem in marriage. But let me start with you, Chisom, as a barrister. How will you define domestic violence to us?
Okay, thank you very much, Patricia. The issue of domestic violence, I would say that every time a woman is being silenced or emotionally broken, you could say that, that is not just her story. It is how the society is built. That's how it is. And so, the law, according to the law, domestic violence is, a deliberate harm that is being done to somebody directly, either to cause harm or to make the person traumatized, harassed, intimidated, So this is what domestic violence is. And domestic violence are of different types. We have the physical abuse, we have the emotional abuse, we have the psychological abuse, and we have the financial abuse. So domestic violence can be seen in these 4 aspects. The physical abuse, where the person intentionally causes harm, the partner causes harm to the lady, beating, injuring her, and all sorts of physical violence. Then the emotional part is when they deal with your mindset, deliberately making you to rethink things, traumatize. You're confused, to cause confusion on the person, or deliberately trying to intimidate that person by demeaning or degrading the lady. we could also say that, apart from women going through domestic violence, that's why we just say the victim, because it could be a man,
it could be a
woman as well. So basically, I think that is what encompasses domestic violence.
But it's mostly the women that goes through this.
Yes, you could say 80% of, especially where we are, we're in Nigeria, and mostly women fall prey to domestic violence because of cultural perception and the way society, tradition, and all of that is mostly women.
Okay, Abiodun, let me come to you. We just heard what the writer said through the reading, and so I'm going to ask: would you say these women didn't or doesn't have any of these traits or mindsets? The women that are domestically abused.
What I would say, women, my sister has already said what domestic violence is, and from our understanding of the writer is like you can't. I think it's behavioral issues. Yeah, it's either the woman or the man has behavioral issues, and it should not be tolerated. It's not a healthy atmosphere to be in. It's dangerous, as we can see. It can lead to death, it can lead to emotional harm, it can lead to psychological harm. And so, to me, domestic violence should be, is a serious issue that, if not dealt with, it will become worse. And as you can see, the end result is not like, where if, a thief steals something, at least, that they can survive it, but it can lead to death, it can lead to not only, holistically, children as well being affected, because in a marriage context. And domestic violence can be in a relationship even before marriage, and so to me, when I see domestic violence, as my sister said, it could be sexual abuse, it could be financial, it could be psychological, emotional. So, and that's, can you imagine going through that at home or with your relationship? It will affect every aspect of your being. You go to work, you can sort of discern or observe somebody that is being abused because they can't focus. They're easily agitated or they're anxious, and and I've, personally had someone in the family that years back that was killed, and in a relationship, and I remember when we heard the story was that she was going to break up with her boyfriend, and then something happened. We found out that maybe she had a drug overdose, but many believe that she was killed.
Oh, so the story, if I heard it clearly, she took drug overdose or she was killed.
What we know is that the last thing is that she was having issues with her relationship with her boyfriend. Maybe she found out he was probably cheating on her, or so. That's the last day that she got killed. So she went to her boyfriend's house. They found her body in her boyfriend's house, but the boyfriend said that she had an overdose. Yeah. So we just know that relationship was not healthy anyway. So there's a lot of things, and this was like 20 years ago. So I still remember.
Okay, so Edith, to you, the same question. Do you think these women that go through domestic violence, from their partners, do not have that mindset, or they do not have their own mindset? Or what do you think? Do you also think that when you're experiencing such things from your partner, you should take a walk?
Oh yeah, that's my opinion. I don't think any woman will want to walk out of a good marriage. Women are wired to be patient, to be tolerant, and to be loved. Any woman that sees red flag, I will tell you, no second chance. Because the red flag are always there. The red flag are never green. They will never turn green. They're always red. They will never turn green. If you see the red flag, please take a walk. Talk to somebody. I don't believe in this, you listen to what people say, what pastors say, what the society will say. Why not think of what people will say when you die? Why not think of what people will say when the spouse finally kill you? You understand? So I will suggest, if you have any reason to or violence or domestic violence, you take a walk. Domestic violence, like my lawyer rightly said, domestic violence is different ways. They come in different ways. Abusive relationship to marriage, verbal violence, emotional violence. So somebody can talk you down and dehumanize you. That is domestic violence to me. They will talk you down. You feel worthless of yourself. Anybody that talk you down and make you feel worthless of yourself and make you feel less of yourself is not worth standing with. Not talk of being into a relationship. True. You understand it? Yeah. So that's my opinion. So they'll talk you down, they make you see yourself worthless, they make you question if you are existing, they make you question your existence.
Okay, let me quickly come in here. Most women, that's when they believe that the man loves them.
Oh my
let me tell you why I said that. Okay, so I have a cousin who is dating this guy. And each time the guy wants her over, is to either come and cook or come and do his laundry. And then one day I asked her, I said, what is wrong with you? Why do you have to, anytime he calls you, it's because he wants you to come and cook or he wants you to come and do his laundry.
That's a user.
What is wrong with you? And she said, because I'm the one he chose, it's me that he loves.
Because
what do you guys think about that?
The thing is, they want to establish control. Domestic violence generally is control. The partner or the person who is the abuser wants control, total control of your mental state, your physical body and everything. So, the society has romanticized abuse to the extent that they feel like it is strength, endurance. So the more you endure in a marriage, the more it gives you strength, or the more you get experience. So I'm a married woman for 10 years, so I've seen all sorts of abuse, tragedy in my marriage, and I can advise the younger ones. I think that is what some people say. Most people, they see it as endurance. You go back to your mother-in-law and tell you, oh, I've been through it before. It's not a new thing. Don't worry. With time, you will change. You could pray.
And some of them don't change. But do change.
Most people, they don't change.
Is it marriage? Is the person,
is
she married him?
No, they're dating. They're dating and they're...
That should not even be, and then you're doing the laundry and you're doing the washing.
Do you think they change completely?
Like I said, red flag don't turn green. They never turn green. They don't suddenly change. They are there. Rather, they will go worst.
Yes.
They don't. They are
no
there.
Amount of prayer
that will change them.
Some people. Looking at the example, the lady, the singer who's late now. I'm sure because I think she's a popular person in the church. She holds a high position. She's close to the pastor and all of that. She was basically building her foundational career in the church. So it's beyond prayer. There's no amount of prayer that can solve, a person who is an abuser that would change that person. So I think the society needs to move beyond go and pray or just endure.
But we have also seen where some prayers worked.
Yes.
No, it works.
Yes. We have also seen where some prayers worked and the partner changed for a better person.
That is just 2%.
I don't believe that.
But I feel that, yes, it will work in prayer, but maybe there'll be a time of separation so that they can deal with the issue in deliverance, in prayer,
so
in word.
Counselors and
yes, all that. But to be together and then still, because at any time it can come forth, and then when the man is ready or is the woman, then healthy. Because even in the Bible, it does not say you should tolerate violence. Is not tolerated. Anger is not tolerated. And God even says in the Bible that the exception of divorce is sexual immorality and things like this. Hatred or that. So the violence, yeah. So it's not.
So I would say that since you said prayer could work, I would say that prayer alone cannot work. For prayer to work, there have to be deliberate actions that are put in place.
Maybe there should be a therapist.
Correct. There has to be an acknowledgement.
Acknowledge the fact that there is an issue.
I can't take this from you. You can't raise your voice at me. You can't beat me. You can't do all of that. And that action that would be taken, form of, like you said, therapy, that was when you can now say, okay, you're adding prayer to, but then you're taking steps.
Okay, she is speaking as a barrister, and Abiodun here is speaking to us as a pastor.
yes, I would say that, because law and morality are two different things. But outside that, we can't just base on religious aspects. Prayer works, right? But you have to back it up with an action. Definitely. You have to make that move. You have to, actually acknowledge that this is an abuse and I'm a victim. So I think that should be.
Does the abuser actually acknowledge the fact that they are an abuser?
They don't actually. But you have to make them see that they are an abuser.
That's where Abiodun says prayer comes in.
Most of these are
they don't.
They are narcissists.
They are manipulating.
They'll manipulate you. They'll make people see you as a bad person.
Of course.
And they will bring the good person.
Yes.
So the outside world, they are the good ones. They are lovely. They are accommodating outside. And at their home, they are warriors. They are demons. That is it. That is narcissist for you.
Yes.
They'll make people paint you black. And they'll be nice outside.
Yeah.
When you go outside, you're talking about your partner in a bad light. They were like, no, not this girl that I know, not this boy that I know. And they are demo at home.
Can I say something? Because,
yes, please. Go ahead.
Because to me, I also want, I've seen things happen, and I know.
I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you short there because we're going on a short break. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned. Thank you for joining us. Abiodun was saying something before we went on a short break. Yes, you were saying something.
Yes, I was saying that I used to go to a church, and part of the administration of this man of God was that before he got saved, he had anger issues and mental health, and and he had his wife endured domestic violence for probably about almost 12 or 15 years, and his wife was praying for him and everything. She didn't leave him, praying constantly.
And he was beating her up.
She used to get angry and beat her, and until he got saved.
And there is a kiss in that home.
Until he got saved. But the thing is, what I'm just saying is that there was a turnaround. Yeah, and this is because the woman loved him dearly, and I'm not saying that, but this is what happened. She prayed, she fasted for this, her husband, and prayed to God, and God turned his life around. He got saved, and he repented. He started going to church, and his life turned around, and he started to treat her well, look after apologize. Till today, he loves his wife, and he's now a pastor. Yeah, doing a lot of work for Christ. A lot of people have been saved through him. A lot of marriages have been
like Edith said, that could be just 2%. And then again, from your own angle, do you think the woman took a risk doing all of that because she could have been killed in that process? What's your take?
Okay, my take is exactly opposite of what she said. Because I feel like 80% of women who have fallen victim and stayed for a while is because they've heard this kind of story. You understand? They must have heard some success story from somebody in the church, or even pastors preach it in church. They say no matter what you're going through in marriage, you should, divorce is not allowed. This is not, don't do this, don't do that.
Because not all churches.
I think there was something I posted on my socials one time. I said that as a woman, if you understand your legal rights in marriage, there are a lot of things that you would not condone, and a lot of people, there was backlash. What do you mean? You're not submissive and all of that, because submissive, it's a religious term, right? But then if you look at the way it is in our world today, because your partner wants to establish dominance, there's no form of equality. There's no form of respect. And once respect goes out, then that's it.
There's nothing there
There's
anymore.
nothing there anymore. So Abiodun, I like the fact that you said, okay, he changed. He became a pastor. Is an example. But it shouldn't be a threshold, or it shouldn't
I
be...
never said it's a threshold. I said this is what the church I went to at one point, and the pastor ministered in this thing. And then the wife also said when she went through this, but she must have prayed and the Holy Spirit must have told her to wait, that this is what this man is going through and this is what he's going to become. I'm not saying it's an example for anybody, but you have to, as a wife, as a woman of God, she might have heard what she heard. That's for her to continue to pray for this husband. Yes, for her to continue to pray for this man of God, that this is what he's going to become. At that time, it didn't look like it.
She stayed in the marriage.
She stayed in the marriage.
At that time, he wasn't a pastor.
At that time, he wasn't a pastor.
So
he wasn't even saved.
The abuse continued.
Yeah, she prayed and his life turned around. And I'm just saying, she continued to pray and it became. I'm not saying that this is an example for anyone, but
why were they preaching all that for the congregation? Still, why was the pastor preaching that to the congregation? Is he trying to make it a foundation for others to follow? And why was the wife supporting it? That there should be long suffering in the hand of in the marriage.
I think my problem with what she said was she was still in that
marriage for 12 years,
taking the abuse.
Why the abuse was going on, and the man with full pride stand in the congregation to preach that the men should keep abusing their wife. Sorry, I'm not saying
that's not the case.
I'm asking,
he was saying it was an example. He was telling what he went through. This was a man that was transformed. This was a man that was a wife beater. Used to have go through anger issues,
and he's encouraging the congregation to keep doing what they are doing.
He was just
saying, their wife
he was talking of his story.
He was talking about his experience and how God touched him and turned his life around.
Okay,
no. You have to. So that other people there that are going through, they can know that there's still hope. In a situation, no, just to know if a man is there, and a wife is there, there's different situations.
Like she said, it's just 1 out of 10.
Yes.
So someone could have stayed back and
get killed.
No. Please, I don't want every woman you're going through abuse, domestic violence in your home. Get help. Shout. Speak to your pastor, your counselor.
Okay,
get help.
Let me come in here quickly. Let me use this example too. Yesterday, someone came to me and was telling me a story. This story is about a younger brother whom I know does drugs. Okay, he had gone, when someone does drugs and turn into a mad person. But this girl has been standing by him and has refused to go. She has a reason. It's not a wife, they're dating. She has a reason for not wanting to go. This guy takes drugs, will beat her up, will push her out of the house. The sister who came to talk to me, because we know the story, will go and tell the girl, move. I have told you, go. Don't stay. He's my brother. I'm just waiting for me to hear he's dead so I can come and pick up his corpse and bury. Because the situation was what took their mother's life. The mother died at just 63. She was very young and pretty when she died. Okay, so now the sister walked up to me yesterday and said, do you know my brother is getting married? I said, which of them? He said, the same one you know.
So the same lady?
I said, to who? He said, to the same lady.
Wow.
I said, why? She's still there. And she said, listen to me. I know you will get upset when you hear this. And that's why I came to meet you. So you call him and talk sense into his head. That the brother said to her that, I don't think I want to marry her. We went to the hospital. I heard that she has fibroid. And then again, since we've been dating, she had never taken him. So I turned to the sister. I said, I don't know what you responded, but this is my response. How sure is he that this problem of not getting pregnant is not coming from him? With all the drugs that you have taken in life, and you see somebody standing. So my question here now is, why is it always women?
Can you say the man with all the luggages is pointing at one luggage that the woman had, the fibroid, which is a natural thing. That is, it's not that she caused it on herself.
By herself, yeah.
You understand? You are pointing at that, and you are pointing at her infidelity, her infertility. Well, or no, you're not a doctor, and nobody has given you the breakdown of her medical history to know that you are not you're already pointing at her having fibroid. You can imagine this type of men we have in the society.
Thank you very much, Princess. Because let's even circle back to the main issue. The main issue for women is shame. That is the main issue. Shame. You see that shame?
What will people say?
Exactly. What will people say? if this man goes, will marry me again? Will I see any other person? What will my mother-in-law say?
They should think of like what people will say when they are kid. Don't think of what people will say when you walk away.
It's because of the way people judge women.
If you are in an abusive relationship,
they feel if you get out of any marriage or any relationship, they feel it's your fault. You didn't do this right. You didn't. But that is the first step. The first step is acceptance. Acceptance that I'm a victim. I am dating an abuser or I'm married to an abuser. Then you have to stop that denial. Stop following what people are saying. Stop following what women who are married for over 1 decade, they are giving you advice. I mean, as at the time they married in 1942.
People that will tell you to stay in there. When the chips are done, when the woman is finally killed, they will not be responsible for your children.
They would even
your
marry
children
another
will be thrown to the street. I always say that. The children will be thrown to the streets, or they will be there, and those people that advise you to stay, to be patient, to tolerate, they won't be there for your children. After 3 months, they are all gone. And just have it at the back of your mind, whether the man or the woman, when the spouse is killed or dead due to the abusive marriage, the other one has the right to remarry.
Okay.
Certainly the best.
Yes.